ask is because the sleep patient or the child doesn't know himself or the person doesn't know himself or herself. So we usually ask the caregiver. So it can be mother, father, or grandparents or the spouse. See what's exactly happening to them in the sleep. So whether they're moving too much, whether they're moving little bit, how they sleep on the belly or they sleep on the back, and whether they keep the mouth open or not. And the person himself, we have to ask what time you go to the bed, what time you really feel sleepy, do you think you wake up at the night few times, what time you wake up in the morning, and then when you wake up, how fresh you feel it, whether you feel rested or not. So these few questions is the starting point.
तो इस स्टार्टिंग में जब मैं आपके पास वापस आ जाता हूँ दूसरा सवाल लेके जो आप ही के सवालों में से है, जैसे आपने कहा कि मुंह खुला हुआ रहता है या नहीं रहता है, सो हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज़ कि नींद अच्छी तरह आए, उसके लिए मुंह खुला रहे तो ठीक है या नहीं रहे तो ठीक है?
सोने के लिए मुंह बंद रहना चाहिए. जब मुंह खुला रहता है उसका मतलब यह होता है कि शायद वो उनको स्नोरिंग होती है, वो नींद अच्छी तरह नहीं आती, नाक से हवा नहीं ले पाते, तो वो मुंह खोल के सोते हैं. So that means when they say we keep mouth open, that means their nose is a problem and they are not able to breathe through the nose, and that's why they're keeping the mouth open.
So now let's go to a snoring side, and many times we have heard that some people file for divorce because husband or wife snores very, very loudly and they cannot sleep, but let's not get towards the negative side of it. But snoring, whosoever is snoring, उनको तो पता नहीं चलता है कि मैं स्नोर करता हूँ, उनके आसपास वालों को ही पता चलता है. So how snoring affects his quality of sleep?
The snoring affects his quality of sleep because when you snore, it's a body has to struggle to breathe. The snoring says the air is moving fast and moving the things in the mouth, and that's why it's making a noise. But what happens is when you snore, you cannot breathe good. So you wake up every time you stop breathing. So it's a kind of saying the person is struggling to breathe. So every time you wake up, your body is awake again. So once you feel everything is good, you go back to sleep. So more you are snoring and more you get awake, you don't get the rest at night. So when you snore and you wake up as if somebody's choking you, that means you didn't have a good night's sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, you are going to be lousy. Or you say, I'm not rested. I slept 8 hours, but I'm not feeling good. So that is where they come to know that I'm not feeling good. Or when they go to work or in the school, they sleep in the train or they sleep in the classroom and the teacher complains, you're sleeping in the classroom, you're not getting attention, or the grade goes down. The first period or the second period, the worst problem that they say, my grade is going down.
So अगर घर पे नहीं सोएंगे तो क्लास में जाके सोएंगे और फोकस नहीं होगा, कंसंट्रेशन नहीं होगी. दैट इज गिवन. दैट्स व्हाई मेनी पेरेंट्स आर वरीड कि ये बेटा ढंग से सोता क्यों नहीं है. बट वील टॉक अबाउट टीनेजर्स अ लिटिल बिट मोर. बिफोर वी गेट टू दैट साइड, many people find it difficult to sleep because of their posture also, the habit कि वो, which is the ideal way to sleep, let's say. Some people sleep straight, some people facing down.
Ideally, you should be sleeping with the back, so with the belly or face upward. What happens is that when we sleep like this, is the best position to get a good night's sleep. But those who have a problem, they say, this position not give me good night's sleep. So let me move to the side, or let me try to sleep on the belly, whether it makes me sleep better, or let me sit up in the chair and can I sleep better. But when they complain any of those things that I'm sitting in the chair, or I have to put a lot of pillow behind me, or I have to sleep on my belly, it's indirectly saying that there's a problem with the sleep. So more likely they have something called sleep apnea, and that is the beginning of the complaint that comes from the parents or caregiver that he's sleeping good in the couch or the car, but the moment he goes to the bed, he wakes up, or I have to put a lot of pillow behind him to make him sleep, or he sleep on his belly.
तो ढंग से सोने के लिए किसी और से पूछने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आवर बॉडी टेल्स अस कि मेरे को कैसे नींद आने वाली, एंड दैट्स हाउ वी गेट यूज्ड टू. बट after many years, if a doctor tells us that this is not the right posture, then is it possible for patients to change because they are so much used to sleeping the way that you are saying is not the right way?
What happens is that when they come and say me that I'm sleeping on my belly, then I have to explain him or her why he's sleeping on the belly. Let me show this model to explain what happened. When you sleep, the tongue falls on the back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah.
So normally tongue should keep it like this so air can go in and out easily. But when you sleep, the tongue falls behind and close the breathing part. If you have too much fat, this fat close it here. So what people do, they sleep on the belly so this fat doesn't close it, or they sleep on the side so it doesn't close the problem. So by showing them this model, this I use in every day in my practice, that when you sleep, what goes wrong with you. So when you are sleeping on the back, this part is blocking it. So I had to say that you have to lose this part of the fat so it doesn't make you trouble. If there's a problem with the adenoid here, then I have to control them. If a problem with the tonsil here, then we have to say, probably if we take out your tonsil, you'll be able to sleep better. So this model helps me to explain why you are sleeping and which position is better for you.
तो कौन सी तरह से सोना आपके लिए ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा, ये बात भी कभी कभी ज़रूरी हो जाता है कि हम डॉक्टर साहब के पास जाकर समझें। और आज हम समझना चाहते हैं कि हम अच्छी तरह से कैसे सोएं, क्योंकि अमेरिका में बहुत सारी समस्याओं में से एक समस्या ये भी है कि लोगों को पूरी नींद नहीं मिल पाती है, और जब पूरी नींद नहीं मिल पाती है और चुस्ती के साथ जाग नहीं पाते हैं तो आप वो काम ठीक से नहीं कर पाते हैं जो आप करना चाहते हैं। एकाग्रता छूट जाती है, यू लूज योर फोकस एंड इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू कंसंट्रेट व्हेन यू आर फीलिंग ड्राउजी। तो हम सब चुस्त हो जाएं, हम सब ऐसे जागें कि जैसे पूरे दिन को गले लगाने की इच्छा और शक्ति लेकर हम बिस्तर से उतरे हैं। ऐसा कैसे हो, इस दिशा में अगर आपके कोई सवाल है आप डॉक्टर साहब को पूछ सकते हैं। और बातचीत का जो अगला चरण है उसमें हम कुछ और टिप्स लेने वाले हैं डॉक्टर साहब से, सो दैट वी स्लीप इन सच ए वे दैट the world looks beautiful when we wake up. So there is more to come with Dr. Rasik Shah. We'll be with you right after this break.
To advertise in this show, please call 347-653-1309.
आप सभी का स्वागत है डांस के महाकुंभ भारत की शान रुक में।
Shan, weekends at 10 p.m., 9 Central.
For advertising, please call 347-653-1309. Santoshi Mata Astrology Center presents Pandit Ram Prasad. He can accurately predict your past, present, and future. He specializes in bringing your loved ones back and getting rid of black magic, obeah, and evil spirits. Consult for problems related to love, marriage, job, business, marital issues, or sexual problems. Call now on 347-220-5384 or visit 13111 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hills.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Himali Spiritual Center is the gateway to liberation from pain, misery, and suffering. Here, through religion, meditation, yoga, worship, and gem therapy, all troubles are treated. Himali Spiritual Center, 718-887-2929.
Your eyes are the windows to your world. Trust your eyes to Malik Eye Care. This is where ophthalmology, optometry, and opticianry join under one roof to meet all your vision needs. Our offices house a plethora of state-of-the-art lasers and diagnostic equipment. I'm a board-certified ophthalmologist and a member of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and also a fellow of the American College of Physicians and Surgeons. I've done thousands of ocular surgeries to restore vision to many patients. Consult our offices to see how we can improve your vision. We look forward to seeing you at your next appointment.
क्या बात है मास्टर फिरोज, यूएसए से बहुत प्यार हो गया है आपको?
Of course, वहाँ पे पता नहीं आपको कितना सारा टैलेंट है.
So let's do this, guys. DID
auditions all across North America.
Get ready, North America!
America and Canada.
Dreams are about to come true, so
Dance it out!
DRD Little Masters USA audition. Log on to zdilse.com to submit your video or to record your audition. For local audition information, log on to aryaintl.com.
वेलकम बैक टू इनसाइड टुनाइट विद अशोक व्यास। और कई गाने ऐसे हैं जिनमें नींद शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है, कई गानों में जागो शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है। जागो सोने वालों सुनो मेरी कहानी, एक गीत ऐसा भी आया था। पर कई बार ऐसा होता है कुछ कहानियां जो कहीं से चलती रहती हैं हमारे मन में, उनको लेकर रात को हम जाग जाते हैं। और अगर बार बार ऐसा हो कि हम जागें फिर सोएं फिर जागें फिर सोएं, तो सुबह उठने के ऊपर हमें ऐसा लगता है कि सचमुच हम सोए नहीं थे। सो डॉक्टर साहब, when people find themselves that they are waking up frequently during the night, what are the reasons and how it affects their sleep cycle?
There are many reasons. One reason is, as you said it, that people are thinking about. So our life is so hectic now that we have so many things are going on in the mind, whether I have exam tomorrow, or I have paper to do tomorrow, or I have to see my friend tomorrow. So we are always thinking what's coming tomorrow. So when we are thinking too much and so much worried about what's happening tomorrow, then when we wake up in between the sleep, then we start thinking about it. Normally what happens is that every 1.5 hour we change from one sleep to second cycle. So there are many cycles of the sleep, usually there are 4. It can be 6. That lasts for 1.5 hours each cycle. So when we wake up between the 2 cycles, we suddenly start thinking about our issues which we want to address tomorrow. So we start thinking about it. So once we start thinking about it, our brain gets activated. So we continuously worry about it. And then we get tired and we go to sleep. So when you think too much at night, you'll not be able to sleep good, and then you'll not be fresh in the morning. So it doesn't serve the purpose. Second common problem happens is that if somebody is sleep apnea, or during the snoring they stop breathing and they wake up at night. This happens sometimes so many times at night that you feel you did not rested. When if you sleep few times, if you wake up more than certain number, we say you have a significant sleep apnea. Everybody is allowed to wake up little bit here and there, but it should not make a big difference. So sleep apnea number, as I said earlier, we monitor the sleep study. In the sleep study, we say how much time you wake up. So that will help me to know whether you had a good night's sleep. So common cause is sleep apnea. Other common cause is too much worried. Third common cause is people do have allergies. So when they go to bed, they have allergies. So they are not feeling good, so they don't sleep good. Or somebody has a bad eczema, they don't sleep good. Or somebody has used caffeine or alcohol, then they wake up and then they cannot go back to sleep. So there are a lot of cause for it.
Right, so there are a few people who, if they cannot sleep and you say that allergy or something, maybe there is some medicine that would help them. But if there is a reason for which someone finds himself worrying about, तो उसमें डॉक्टर कैसे हेल्प करेगा उसकी? एंड व्हाट डू यू सजेस्ट टू सच पीपल जिनको पास वो कहेंगे ये तो प्रॉब्लम है और ये तो मुझे जेन्युइनली सोचना ही है, एंड you cannot disagree with them.
You're perfectly right. This is what I do, and obviously I'm a busy practitioner, so I always have something going on. So what I do is, before I go to sleep, I write down the list what I want to do tomorrow, and I give prioritize and say this is how I want to function it. So before I go to sleep, I put my worry in a planned fashion. So I write down everything. So when I go to sleep, I know that I have planned out for tomorrow. So that way I don't worry about when I go to sleep. So that way I have a good night's sleep. So I'm fresh to do the work. That's the best way.
So that's a very smart move कि आप अपनी वरीज को पेपर के ऊपर ट्रांसफर कर दें और पेपर के ऊपर ट्रांसफर कर सकें. That definitely is an art which some people have more than others, and some people actually worry about something that they heard someone saying for them. Especially these days, if we take an example from the political scenario in India, तो कई लोगों की नींद इसको लेके उड़ जाती है कि इलेक्शन का रिजल्ट क्या होगा, अगर ये जीत गया तो या इवन अगर वो खुद भी जीत गए तो. सो a sudden dramatic change in life and anticipation of that change, वो जो एक्साइटमेंट बिल्ड करता है उसको कंट्रोल करके नींद ठीक ठाक ले पाए, इसके लिए क्या नुस्खा है?
Okay, this is how I go with those issues, because this can happen to anybody and practically it happens to everybody, because life is up and down. So sometimes you are so much excited and that makes you not to go to sleep, or you're worried about the exam result, or you have exam tomorrow. This is common issue, or you have some interview tomorrow, how you're going to perform. So what I do is I guide them. You control what you have, you can control it. You cannot control everything. So try to control how you can handle or what you have a control on your goal. Suppose if my exam is coming, then my job is to not to worry for the exam, but prepare for the exam. So I'm ready for the exam. So I don't worry about the exam and what will happen in the exam. Or I'm worried about the result. I say I given my best shot to control the result of the exam. I did my best part and now I have to accept whatever it comes. So you have to do both. You have to work hard to get the goal and you have to anticipate and you have to be ready for both good or bad outcome, because you did whatever you can and now you have to face the reality.
So जो भी है वो एक्सेप्ट तो करना ही है. दैट इज वेरी सिंपल फॉर समवन टू टेल अस, बट बहुत मुश्किल होता है. लेकिन फिर भी मुश्किलें हैं तो उनका सामना तो करना ही पड़ता है. टॉकिंग अबाउट हु इज स्लीपिंग वेरी लेट एज वाइज, often we hear that teenagers are nowadays in a situation where they end up keeping awake till late और बहुत देर तक सोते हैं. Is that correct? As a doctor, what has been your experience?
Ashok ji, what you said is 100% true. All the teenagers, as they go in the puberty, they have what we call the inside clock or biological clock is set 2 hours late. So when you are pre-teenager or when you are 6, 7, 8, your body was saying that you go to sleep around 8 or 9 and you will wake up in the morning 6 or 7. So you are getting 9 hours good night sleep. But as you are in the puberty, your body clock say 8 is not a good time to sleep. 10 is good time to sleep. So you cannot, even though you want to go to bed at 8 or 9, you will not feel sleepy. It takes 9 or 10 o'clock. So that's one reason. So body's own maturity does make a big difference. So the problem is still they need the same amount of 8 or 9 hours of the sleep. So if you go to sleep, body say you go to sleep at 10 or 11, then you will not be able to wake up fresh at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock to go to the school at night. That's the one big problem. So yes, the biology does take big part in why teenager cannot sleep early.
No,
then there are other issues too.
Yeah, just along with other issues. That's where I was going to ask you about. Along with biology, habits which are coming to our life thanks to internet and all these social media. So kids find themselves continuously engaged, either doing some research or interacting with their friends via Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, you name it. So is there any suggested system that teenagers should adopt in their life so that they can have quality sleep at right time?
There are two parts of the sleep. One is a biological clock, which we cannot change it. We can manipulate a little bit, but we have more control on what we call environment, what you do with your time. So when you are sleepy time, but you are interested in talking with your friends, to chat on the Facebook or get on the YouTube, or you want to call, that means you're intentionally delaying your sleep because it's excitement, it's a fun. So you're delaying your cycle. Plus the light of the computer or tablet disturb your sleep rhythm. So it does affect your biological clock. So putting all this together, you're disturbing your sleep cycle from going to 10 o'clock to 11 or 12. Now here is the interesting part. As I said earlier, sleep cycle is like every 1.5 hours. So if you miss one window of sleeping at 10 to 11, next time you will sleep will be 12:30 to 1. So that way it becomes more problem. So what I suggest to them always is that you have to prioritize what you want to do with you. Suppose you want to chit-chat with your friend, then you should finish before you feel sleepy, because your sleep is important. It's going to affect your school grade, and you're going to be having a problem in the school, and your parents will be upset. You will not be able to achieve your goal. So it's important that you try to cut down social media exposure by 9:30 or 10. So when you're ready to sleep, you don't get distracted. Yes,
so
it's
now
easy to say, but it's difficult to control.
It is really difficult, and I just want to ask you, if someone is not following what you said and they go to bed maybe 12, 1, and every morning they have to wake up to go to school, so there is a sleep deprivation in their system, how it might affect their health in long term?
That's the biggest problem, is the sleep deprivation. The first thing it affects is how you act. When you wake up lousy, every reflex slows down. So when you go to classroom, you're not going to get the knowledge what you wanted. Suppose you are walking lousy, you can end up in an accident, or you may fall down. Plus what happens is when you are sleep deprived, then you feel more hungry. So either you take junk food because you start craving for the sugar, so you start eating junk food, or you're sleepy, so you start getting habit of drinking soda, because the caffeine in the soda make you delay your sleep problem. But at the end, it's hurting your sleep deficit. By getting soda or eating junk, you're not getting more sleep. You're just postponing the necessity.
This is another angle. भूख का नींद के साथ क्या रिलेशनशिप है? अगर नींद कम आएगी तो भूख ज़्यादा लगेगी क्या?
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बात है. जब आप नींद नहीं ले पाते तो बॉडी के हार्मोन बोलते हैं कि आपको खाना है, तो आप खा लेते हो. So yes, they have a very good relation with the hormone in the body. So yes, and that more problem is obesity.
So we'll talk about obesity, but let me take this call. Hello, ITV Live.
Hello.
हाँ जी, नमस्कार.
Namaskar. I have a question. For the adults, is it, this is regarding the Sleep Well program, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. For the adults, is there any suggested method? What I have observed is like, जो इंडिया में सर में तेल लगाते हैं, या फिर like eat very early, or is there any other way? I mean, like continuously कुछ ना कुछ विचार चलते रहते हैं दिमाग में, which does not have any meaning. It's a useless thoughts. So is there any way we can block those thoughts and get some good sleep?
Thanks for the question. It's very common and very interesting question. The thoughts are always going to be coming. So when you're in the bed and you're thinking about some nonsense thought which has no real meaning, the best way is try to concentrate on some happy things and relax your body. So by that we are trying to block nonsense thought and try to concentrate on one which can make you feel comfortable. Most of the time how I do myself is I start taking a deep nice breath few times, or concentrate on something happy part, and usually that will block my mind from the unnecessary thought and I go back to sleep. So yes, it's a very common problem. So you have to find out what works for you. You have to learn how to block the thought to make your body relax. And second part was the food. Yes, if you have a heavy meal and then you want to go to sleep, you're likely that your body has not digested the food and it will come back called reflux or esophageal reflux or heartburn, and that will keep you awake. So it's a good idea that you don't eat heavy meal just before the bedtime. So in case suppose you want to sleep at 10, you cannot have a big meal at 9. You give at least 2 hours before you go to sleep. So let us have a heavy meal at 7 or 8, so you are okay at 10 without getting heartburn. That two things will help you.
All right, sir. Appreciate your call.
Yes.
Did that help?
Yes.
Yeah. So all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. All the best.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes.
So now the thing is, we want everyone to be happy, and in order to be happy, sleep is definitely an important aspect to keep us fresh to welcome a new day. And now, before we get to our next break, very briefly, if you want to tell us something about, as you were saying, blocking your thoughts, but if some people feel that they wake up quite frequently at night and they don't know why that happens, is there anything that can be done?
Though, when you wake up, you have to find out what is causing you to wake up. If it's a thought process, then, or you're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, you have to write down in paper. So you're taking away your problem from the mind to put on the paper. So you say, I have planned out for my tomorrow. That's the most important part. Second problem happen is sometimes is that you have allergies. I have friends who had a bad allergy, and every time they go to the bed, they cannot sleep because with the allergy they were snoring and there were issues. So I have to say that you're allergic to the dust mite, and you control the dust mite, and that make a big difference. So what happens when you don't sleep good, you have to go back, or we call it introspection. You have to find out why you're not sleeping. And if you try to go to the root of the problem, you'll be able to solve the problem.
Wonderful. So we have to go to the root of the problem. That is the problem, because we don't want to go to the root of the problem. But now we want to go to the next break. But before that, let me tell you, right after this break, we will be talking about how exercise might help us in sleeping better. And also, is it something given to us by our parents that some people sleep like a baby and some people never sleep like a baby? They always find that there is something that is taking away their sleep. Is it something in our genes? So we'll ask Dr. Shah right after this break. Stay with us.
To advertise in this show, please call 347-653-1309.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Himalayan Spiritual Center is the gateway to liberation from pain, misery, and suffering. Here, through religion, meditation, yoga, worship, and gem therapy, all troubles are treated. Himalayan Spiritual Center, 718-887-2929.
Santoshi Mata Astrology Center presents Pandit Ram Prasad. He can accurately predict your past, present, and future. He specializes in bringing your loved ones back and getting rid of black magic, obeya, and evil spirits. Consult for problems related to love, marriage, job, business, marital issues, or sexual problems. Call now on 347-220-5384 or visit 13111 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hills.
I am your immigration attorney, Michael Fulwani.
And I'm your immigration attorney, David Nachman.
Keep watching us, our program on immigration and you.
For the latest information, updates, and developments about immigration law.
Every Saturday at 8:15 p.m.
And wake up to us on Sunday at 11:45 a.m.
Consult Swami Manjiji for accurate horoscope reading, palm reading, and likelihood of love, marriage, children, business, health, immigration, and court cases. Swamiji removes black magic, gives protection, and helps in removing various problems by powerful holy mantras and meditation on God. Free check of black magic. Excellent results. Call 718-358-2901. The number again, 718-358-2901.
Do you want to lose weight fast?
Then get out your smartphone now.
Because Only Protein, the protein system for weight loss, has a great TV offer.
Only Protein's about athletic performance.
It's also a great meal replacement that helps you lose weight.
Performance, princess.
Weight loss, big shot.
People are passionate about the Only Protein system.
The results are for real.
Because it does more than boost your energy, it also helps control your appetite and burn fat all day.
I'm losing weight without losing muscle.
Just 103 calories per serving. The meal replacement you want, the energy you need. It's more than just protein. It's Only Protein.
All right, you win.
With Only Protein, we both win. It's about feeling better.
And being better.
I feel better than I have in years.
Order now and get our meal replacement on-the-go 10-pack, protein powder 5-pack, plus our new Metatherm weight loss pills. It's an $84 weight loss value for just $19.99 risk-free. Order now and get free shipping. Only Protein. Feel better, be better.
वेलकम बैक टू इनसाइड टू नाइट विद अशोक व्यास। आज के कार्यक्रम में हम आपको अच्छी तरह सुलाने की तरफ कैसे बढ़ना चाहिए इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। हम आपको सुलाना नहीं चाहते हैं, अभी हम आपको अपने साथ बनाए रखना चाहते हैं ताकि आप वो बातें भी सुन लें जो आपको अच्छी नींद तक बढ़ने में मदद कर सकती हैं। सो वी वर टॉकिंग अर्लियर विद डॉक्टर रसिक शाह। उनके नाम में ही रस है। ही हैज कम फ्रॉम बड़ौदा वेयर ही डिड हिज MBBS इन 76 एंड ही वाज अ गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट। सोना उन्होंने बहुत पहले से ही गोल्ड मेडल के साथ ले लिया था। सो समहाउ द काइंड ऑफ हैबिट्स व्हिच वी हैव, partly a lot of it probably comes from our parents. कुछ जीन्स ऐसे होते हैं कि लोग अच्छे नींद ले लेते हैं या कुछ लोगों, सो हेरिडिटरी हाउ मच इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इट प्लेज इन आवर डिटर्मिनिंग आवर स्लीप साइकिल.
You're perfectly right. There's always two parts of the things. What we inherited from our parents is biological clock, and that helps us to know how much sleep you needed. There are some people, they need less amount of sleep. Some people need more amount of sleep. I'm the people who need little more than my friends. My friend used to be fresh in 6 hours. I always need 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep in the college. So my friend used to envy me all the time. I say, I imagine from my parents who make me sleep long, but when I wake up, I'm fresh. I'm keeping a good grade, and you work hard, sleep less, but though you believe you know in a good sleep, you probably need to know more sleep so you can pass the exam. Otherwise, you don't ask me to help. So yes. So one is our perception. Second is what we got as a gene. We cannot change the gene what we got from our parents. So we are not going to do much about it. Only thing what we can do is we can control our environment to make it better. So when you awake, use the time wisely so you have enough time to go to sleep.
So in order to use the time wisely, there are many things that are important. One of them happens to be exercise. So sometimes people say that exercise is directly related to your quality of sleep. Is that right?
Yes. It's true that exercise is very important because, as I said, there are two parts. One is biological clock, which we cannot change it, but we can change how we exercise. When we do exercise, it makes our body a little tired. It makes you not gain too much weight. So the exercise is going to make body tired. So it makes body go to sleep better. Plus you will not get obese. So you will not have an issue with this sleep apnea. So yes, exercise is very important role. When I see patients in my office, a lot of time they say, I don't do exercise. When I come home, I'm tired, so I'm watching TV instead of going out. So I'm not tired, so I don't go to sleep, and then I cannot wake up because still you need 8 hours of sleep. So exercise is going to help you to go to sleep in time, so you have a good night's sleep.
So exercise in the evening also?
Yes. Even if you do exercise in the evening, I'm not talking about the exercise which make you work like crazy just before the bedtime, but small regular exercise even 1 hour before bedtime is not going to hurt you.
So now the kind of relationships that you cherish in your life probably also reflect in the quality of your sleep. And there have been studies which say that people who are separated or widowed or divorced, it also affects their sleep cycle. Is that correct?
Yes. The reason is indirectly saying whatever happened to your life, any stress, whenever you have a time, the free time is when you're ready to go to sleep. You start thinking about what did I do wrong, why I should get punished, what I would have done differently. So you always go on thinking about it. So we call this as the negative ideas. A negative idea goes on and on, so it affects your time to go to sleep. When you wake up again, the same idea comes back. So your negativity is going to affect you big time. So that's why those who have a big crisis in the family or in their life at any time, they do have an issue with sleep unless they realize how to handle it differently.
Now, if you find yourself in a helpless situation to handle it differently, then you end up taking support of some medication. So there are some people, they go for sleeping pills. So when it is advisable to take this kind of support for sleeping?
Sleeping pill is advisable only if you are going to need for very short period of time, because most of the sleeping pills which people use have a lot of side effect. The first side effect happen is hangover. So you take the medicine and the effect has not wore off in the morning, and you have to go to work, either you have to drive or you have to work with the machinery. That is more likely to induce accident. So you have to be very careful about using the medication. So when you go to the doctor, you let them know where is exactly the problem. The problem is in inducing the sleep, means in the beginning of the sleep, or you're waking up. And you start using the medicine when you have little time or you're not going to go to work to know how it works. Most of the people started using either alcohol to induce the sleep, or they started smoking, and that is not the right way, because anything that affects your sleep is going to have a side effect or rebound effect. So it's not good idea to be hooked to the sleeping pills unless it's really necessary, and you have to work out with your doctor to decide which is the best way to do it. And if possible, keep it for less than 2 weeks so you don't get addicted to it.
So when kids come to you, or their mothers bring kids who are maybe near their teenage or even less than that, what are the normal remedy oriented measures without medicines? Do you also suggest some sort of change in the habit pattern, or maybe the kind of light that is there in the room, or maybe the color of the walls in the bedroom? Does that also play some role?
As I said earlier, we have to control the environment. So the environment, the first thing is the light, because if you have a bright light, it's going to make your brain or biological clock say that it's not night. So first thing you have to do is try to cut down the amount of light. Second thing, at this time, practically every family, because of the unsafe environment or not having time, they give the child either tablet or cell phone to play the games. That's constant stimulus to them. So the best way is to cut down the use of the light and cut down the use of any electronic gadget which constantly stimulate them. So both the stimulus is a problem and light is a problem. Third is the noise. Yes, any noise is going to keep your brain away, so you have to make sure there is no noise at the bedtime. And if, as I said earlier, if there's an issue with the allergy, you have to control it, and that should work out fine. And the last important part is habit of the soda. Anything that's caffeinated beverage is going to affect your sleep. So make sure you stop getting caffeinated beverages at least 6 hours before the bedtime. So suppose you decide to give the soda to your child or anything with the caffeine inside, including chocolate ice cream or chocolate, you don't give after 4, latest 6, because it takes 4 to 6 hours to get out from the system. So these are the few things you can do it. Another thing is, when they're ready to go to sleep, don't give any scary TV shows, because if they are scared, they cannot go to sleep. So these are few measures going to help them to go to sleep better.
तो अगर डरे हुए होंगे तो आपको नींद नहीं आएगी, डॉक्टर साहब कहने का एक मतलब तो ये हुआ। और दूसरा उन्होंने कहा कि कैफीन, चाय वगैरह का सेवन नींद आने के समय से 6 घंटे पहले तक नहीं करना चाहिए। मुझे लगता है बहुत सारे लोग हम में से इम्प्रैक्टिकल मानेंगे, क्योंकि कहीं डिनर कर रहे हैं तो भी देर है, और उसके बाद लोग चाय वाय पीते ही हैं आजकल लगभग सभी जगह।
वो डिनर के बाद चाय इसलिए देते हैं कि उनको पता है कि खाया है, अब नींद आने वाली है, और वो नहीं चाहते कि आप घर पे जाने समय रास्ते में सो जाए। सो चाय इसलिए देते या कॉफ़ी इसलिए देते जिससे आप एक्सीडेंट के बिना घर पे जा पाओ और नींद को दूर कर पाओ। यस, लेकिन व्हाट हैपन व्हेन यू गो होम, यू कैन नॉट गो टू स्लीप बिकॉज यू हैव टेकन द टी और कॉफ़ी। सो व्हाट आई डू इज I try to find out what's my sleep time. Once I feel a little bit sleepy, I say it's time for me to go home. I may not entertain full function because I want to make sure I don't end up in a sleepless night, because it's going to affect my function next day morning.
So whatever people say, but if you keep your sleep also as your priority, it will keep your days bright, because next morning when you wake up, you will have a lot of energy and light to do what you want to do. And talking about some specific situations wherein you are traveling, probably the environment is different, and let us say if you are going to a hill station, so does the height also somehow affects your sleep cycle?
It's not the height that's going to make a much difference, but it's question of the time zone that can make a big difference. Suppose you're going traveling for 6 hours, eastward or westward, it's going to affect your sleep cycle. Second thing happens is when you're traveling, whether you started drinking or whether you took the nap, it's going to affect your things. So height per se is not a problem, but what you have done during the travel to the reaching to the hill station is what decides the issues.
So what you have done while reaching to the hill station, that decides. Now talking about jet lag, which plays differently with different human beings. Sometimes you land up in India and you find you are all right, but some people feel that it takes 3, 4, 7 days, same way while you come back from India. So from that point of view, as a sleep specialist, what would be your recommendation to those who quite frequently travel and that upsets their sleep cycle?
So it's not a very easy issue for those who are traveling frequently and long distance. If it's a few hours, you will be able to handle it. But if it's a long distance, you have to plan out. That's what I do when I go to India. I plan out my time in the plane to see when I land to India what's going to happen. Suppose when I land to India, it's going to be night, then I make sure in the last 6 hours of the flight, I keep myself engaged and either read something, watch TV, walk around, so I'm having enough time to go to sleep. When I come back to USA, usually it's morning. So what I do is, even if I'm not sleepy, I'll make sure I don't watch TV, I don't listen to music. So when I land here, I already probably finished my sleep and I'm ready to work out. And then I use the exposure to sun to set my body clock to say. So as soon as I come here, if I come in the morning, I walk out to let my body know that this is the morning and you should act like a morning. So when I go to India, it's sleep time, so I shut down all the senses so I can let my body know it's a night time. That is the best thing that will work. And make sure you adjust your use of the alcohol or smoking or caffeinated beverage accordingly so it doesn't affect your sleep cycle.
So how to take care of your sleep cycle, that is the key, and I find it also slightly difficult for many people to accept that don't watch TV at night, because that is the time when they get to see the news, or if they want to entertain themselves, that's what they are going to do. Now, what is it that you can recommend that you watch TV and yet it won't affect your sleep? Anything additional?
What I have learned it that I may watch TV for half an hour, but if it's an important program, we all have now DVR, so I download on my DVR and watch when I have a time when I'm fresh. To me, my sleep is priority because it's going to affect my functionality. So I use downloading any important TV show, which was I used to like is Rangoli, but sometimes I'm not there, so I download. So when I get a chance, I do it. So use TV show to entertain you when you are ready to entertain yourself, not at the cost of sleep, because sleep is very important for your functionality, and that is very necessary.
सो आज की बातचीत में ख़ास बात यही हम बार बार आप तक पहुंचाना चाहते हैं कि अपनी नींद का सम्मान करें, और नींद का सम्मान करने के लिए उसको प्रायोरिटी पर रखना ज़रूरी है। उसको प्रायोरिटी पर रखने का मतलब ये हुआ कि आप बाकी की चीज़ें जो कर रहे हैं उनको इस तरह से व्यवस्थित करें कि वो आपसे आपकी नींद चुरा कर न ले जाए। और कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जेंडर डिफरेंस जो है वो भी क्या नींद लेने की जो कैपेसिटी है उस पर असर डालता है, या women sleeps better, men sleeps better, or something like that?
Yes, the older women sleep better than men, but as I said earlier, you cannot change the genetics, you cannot check the sex. So I always say, things what you don't have any control, don't think about it. The most important thing is, you cannot change the genes, so don't worry about it. Control your environment, and most important, do exercise as you need it. Even if what I do sometimes when I'm standing in the platform, I do a little exercise to keep myself fit. And when it's evening time, I avoid caffeinated beverage. So that way, I make sure what are things are affecting my sleep, I avoid them. Because to me, sleep is my best medicine.
तो थोड़ा थोड़ा डिसिप्लिन होना बहुत ही ज़रूरी है ऐसा लगता है, बट कई लोगों को लगता है कि रात को कम सोए लेकिन दोपहर को सो गए तो भी क्या काम चल जाता है. जो आफ्टरनून नैप है वो हेल्थ के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कितना ठीक है?
बिल्कुल सही बात है. वी ऑल हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड आफ्टरनून डीप. So it's okay to take a half an hour nap if it is possible. So yes, ideally if you have a choice after the lunch, take a half an hour nap, and that's going to make you more productive. So if it's feasible, afternoon nap is good. It doesn't affect your sleep. But you cannot take a nap 2 hours before your bedtime. So yes, you can take 8 hours before bedtime, then it's fine.
तो आफ्टरनून का मतलब आफ्टरनून है, इवनिंग नहीं है. अगर इवनिंग को आप आफ्टरनून नैप लेंगे तो फिर आपकी नींद आपसे कहीं दूर चली जाएगी, और नींद किसी की उड़े नहीं, इसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए वो सबसे बेहतर वो खुद ही जान सकता है, क्योंकि नींद उनको ही लेनी है और उनको ही पता लगाना है कि वो किस कारण नींद से दूर रह रहे हैं. लेकिन थोड़ी बातें जो डॉक्टर रसिक शाह ने अपने पेशेंट से बात करते हुए एकेडमिकली पता की हैं, उनका अगर जिस्ट जाना जाए तो as we move towards the concluding part of this conversation, Dr. Shah, share with us 5 top things which would help people in improving the quality of their sleep.
First thing, everybody has to know what amount of sleep they need. So they have to know whether they are short sleeper or long sleeper. So, and you have to put sleep as your priority. It's very important. You cannot allow to accumulate as a sleep debt. Second part happen is once you know what you need it, you change your environment or your social scenario to suit yourself. Try to avoid things that affect your sleep adversely. Common issues, caffeine in the soda, which people don't know, or caffeine in the chocolate ice cream, or cigarette, alcohol, watching too exciting things at night, or constantly engaging with the social media. These are the few things is going to make your life a lot better. And once you sleep good, you're going to be fresh, you'll be full of energy, and you can enjoy the day. So it's very important that you prioritize your sleep as much as you prioritize other things, probably more than even money, because sleep is important, and if you sleep good, you can do good function and it can make more money.
ये जो बात डॉक्टर साहब ने बताई कि स्लीप को पैसे से भी ज़्यादा महत्व दिया जाना चाहिए, वो बात हमें हजम करने में थोड़ा टाइम लगे, उसके लिए हमें थोड़ा सोचना समझना पड़े, बट थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करेंगे तो हमें पता चल जाएगा कि नींद कितनी महंगी है, और जिसकी नींद उड़ जाए उससे पूछें तो पता चले. बहरहाल डॉक्टर रसिक शाह के साथ बहुत सी नई नई बातें ऐसी पता चली कि हमारी नींद की गुणवत्ता, quality of our sleep is definitely going to improve. I appreciate your presence with us here at ITV Studio, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. And thanks to all of you for being a part of today's Insight Tonight show with good wishes for great quality sleep. Do join us tomorrow. This is Ashok Vyas.
Shri Kali Mata astrologer Pandit Mahendra Guruji, with over 35 years of experience, he can help you with the